So one of the ways that Spark and our community are really focused on driving economic development is around not only identifying and lifting up the assets that are in our backyard, but also ensuring that people are as aware as possible of what those things are. We talk a lot about being an asset-rich community with things in the mobility space like the American Center for Mobility or M-City, and the importance that those things play in engineering, development, testing, validation, et cetera. Can you talk a little bit around why that process of validation, of testing is so important from a product development standpoint?
Yeah, for sure. Automotive and aerospace, they have a remarkable number of requirements, right? Certifications, ISO certification, and that's a multi-year process. It's slow, it's time-consuming, it's expensive, and it requires a whole lot of testing to provide the data that shows that your device does what you have said it will do and that it will work reliably for the extent that it's needed, right? Places like American Center for Mobility and M-City provide the space to be able to do the validation, to be able to test it out, collect the data that you need to collect. And that's on that certification and manufacturing side. On top of that, if you want to be able to show that your thing works in a way that solves a customer's problem, this kind of goes back to that idea of doing good customer discovery, you need a place to demonstrate it. Their testing facility is used as demo space, right? So that prospective customers can come in and get comfortable with the technology, kick the tires, to use an automotive phrase, do all the things that have to be done to be automotive grade ready.
Can you talk a little bit about what a company can actually do at a place like M-City or the American Center for Mobility?
Yeah, for sure. So M-City's kind of has two claims to fame in their test track. One is that it's an urban test environment, so you really get that full scope of what it's like to be driving in a city, even things like fog and things. And then the other side is that they have this digital twin, so you don't even have to be there to get the advantage of their test facility. They are working on M-Air also, which would have that digital twin. The sky's the limit. And American Center for Mobility is a similar idea in that they have a test track for running vehicle testing. And it has from a highway section and a covered tunnel section, in intersection. You can go fast, you can have lights. They've got all kinds of, crash test dummies and things, as well as garage bays to build out your vehicle if that's something you're working on. American Center for Mobility also has their EV charging base camp, and what that is what it sounds like, a playground of EV technology hardware and software. So it's all connected. And if you have some kind of device that works in electrification and you want to know, is it compatible with all these other devices? Does it work all the way through? You can go there and do testing. Phil, as we talk about American Center for Mobility and M-City, what do you think they do to provide a competitive edge to the organizations that use them?
One of the areas that I think they are providing an opportunity to is to allow more folks to be able to utilize some of these services. Oftentimes, there's simply a barrier to entry in markets because things are already in place, or you need to be able to have your own purpose-built validation center that's owned by one company or one opportunity. It prevents others from being able to gain access to what those components are and limits opportunity for new entrants. So what a shared space like an M-City or American Center for Mobility is that basically means that more companies can utilize those opportunities and validate their technologies in a way that normally in other circumstances, if those things weren't there, they would have to go and potentially build out those things on themselves or find some other way to access it.
So Phil, why do those testing resources make a difference when companies are looking to move into our region?
I think they're just examples of the culture that people can enter when they're coming into the market or being able to grow and expand, because the assets are in place, the physical assets are in place, but perhaps more importantly, the networks and the know-how of doing that work is also in place. So having things in place, having physical assets already in places, the lab spaces, the testing spaces, the lab folks that are working on that opportunity, having those things already in place can make that R&D dollar that much more efficient, which I think is what we need to be doing as not only as a state, but as a country in terms of trying to quicken our development time so that we can remain a leader in the research and development work that we're trying to do to solve these challenges and these problems that we're trying to face.